Hey friends, welcome back to Simply Home and Harvest. I'm so glad you're here. Today, I'm just going to take you along with me for the day. We're going to make some dinner and going to get a plan going for our garden, our 2023 garden. I can't even hardly believe I'm saying that. I can't believe it's time to start seeds and start thinking about all those things. It's just, time just flies by so quickly. But it's a beautiful day today, so I'm going to take you along as I prepare dinner for the family and a few other things. Also, I want to remind you that on Friday, March the 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be going live here on YouTube. We'll be having a live Q&A, a live chat with you all. I can't wait to spend some time with you. We're actually celebrating 1,000 subscribers. I can't believe that either. My channel hit 1,000 subscribers last week, so I thought it would be fun to celebrate with you all. So on this Friday, March the 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you will join me. We're going to be cooking up a little something in the kitchen. Maybe not cooking. We're going to be preparing a dessert. We have a birthday coming up this weekend in our home. And so we're going to get that ready while we chat. So I hope you'll join me. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, be sure to do that. I'd love to have you join our family here on YouTube. Also hit that like button. That helps too. And let's get on with today's video. Okay, so tonight I'm going to use some meat that I had in the freezer. I actually had 2 pork chops and then a small pack of beef round steak. And I thought I would just combine the 2 for dinner tonight, not in the same pot. I'm going to put them in separate crock pots. But I just thought 2 pork chops wouldn't be enough, and I wanted to go ahead and use those up as we are trying to use up what we have. So, and I also had a carrot in the fridge that I needed to use up. So you'll see I'm peeling a carrot right now. And what I'm going to do is just slice up some carrots and some potatoes, put them in the bottom of each one of those slow cookers, and then I'm just going to place the round steak on top in one, and then the pork chops on top in the other. And then I'm going to add a can of cream of chicken to each one, and then just a little bit of water. I'm going to let those cook on low for about 7 hours. And this is a very busy week for us. We've got a lot of activities. We're actually in revival at our church. So I thought this would be something that I could go ahead, put on early, and most of dinner will be done by this afternoon. So you can see there it is in its beginning process, and we're just going to let that cook for the rest of the day. So many times I want to share a video with you all, and I just get kind of stuck because we've got so much going on. We're homeschooling and everything is in the background, and so a lot of times I just don't want to have to stop what I'm doing. But tonight I just decided I would go ahead and just do a voiceover on this, go ahead and get dinner going. So we do have school going on in the background. Not sure what we were doing here, but we were having fun. So I thought, this is real life. You see the dishes in the background. You see a not so tidy kitchen, but that's okay. That's how we live. And I want everything to be real for you guys here on YouTube. So this is just the way it is. So we've got dinner in the crock pot, the pork chops, the round steak. And then I just got a message about 30 minutes ago. Tim asked me if I wanted to meet him for lunch, which is a very rare and wonderful occasion. So I'm going to take him up on that. I'm going to run and have lunch with him, maybe run a few errands while I'm out on this absolutely gorgeous day. The van says it is 72 degrees today. Spring fever, y'all. Spring fever is in the air, which tomorrow's March 1st. So we're there. We're getting very close, right? All right, so I'm going to go have lunch with him, and we'll come back and do some things here in a little bit. Now I'm back from our fun little lunch date. Just always so special when I can go and have lunch with my husband. He is very busy, has meetings most days during lunch. So when I got a call from him wanting to know if I wanted to join him for lunch, I dropped what I was doing and went because, like I said, that is a rare occasion. So right now, I thought that it would be a little bit easier on me if I would just sit down and get organized with these seeds before I start planting anything. Now, I have saved seeds from the last year. I also purchased some seeds from MI Gardener, which I'll be showing you in an upcoming video when we actually plant the seeds. But I wanted to kind of get a guideline down and just know when I need to start the seeds indoors and what needs to be directly sown into the ground. So we are getting close to that. Weather permitting, and Lord willing, I should say, Tim will be tilling the garden hopefully this weekend so we can get our onions in and maybe even lettuce. I'll have to check on that to see if it's time to go ahead and plant lettuce. We are in zone 7B, so that'll give you an idea of what we can do outside right now. But I thought this way I can just get everything written down and I'll know what I'm supposed to do. I do need to go get some soil to get started. And I was going to start some flower seeds this year, so I'll have to see if I have time for that. If not, they'll just go directly into the ground. The way I'm trying to do it this year is to minimize things so that it's not so overwhelming for me. We have a lot going on, and sometimes I just get very overwhelmed and I overthink a lot of things. Maybe you're like me and you can relate, but it's not very good for you to stay stressed out and trying to get all the things done. So if you can take some things off your plate, and relax a little, it makes life a whole lot easier. I am trying hard to learn that lesson these days. All right, so I've been back from having lunch with Tim for a while now, and I sat down and worked on all my seed starting plans, which you saw. And now I'm going to finish dinner. It's 4:39. We have church this week. Our church is in revival this week, so it's actually starting early. It's starting at 6:30, so I've got to get this done and hopefully have dinner done in the next hour so that we can eat before we have to be at church at 6:30. So I'm just doing some convenience foods, but we're also, using what we have in our pantry. So I'm gonna cook up some green beans that we have canned here. And then I'm also gonna slice up some apples, cook some apples on the stove. I had thought about fixing some sweet potatoes because we have sweet potatoes downstairs that we need to use. Now we already have vegetables in our slow cookers, but the sweet potatoes will be something that we could have extra maybe for leftovers. And then I thought about making some biscuits. So we'll see if time allows for all that or not. I just poured my beans into the pot. I tossed a chicken bouillon cube in there, a little bit of salt and pepper, a little bit of oil, and I just let it cook down for probably a good 30 to 40 minutes. We don't have to go as long with those because they're not fresh beans. And the way I like to cook my apples, I'm just gonna get some butter heating in our cast iron skillet here. And then we'll slice our apples, put them in there, let them cook down. I add a little bit of brown sugar and some cinnamon to those. And that's the way we like them. These are smaller apples, so I'm just gonna go ahead and cook up 4 of those. Get them rinsed off. So I gave our apples a little rinse. I like to keep the peelings on them. You could definitely peel them if that's your preference. Now these might not be the best cooking apples, but we're just gonna go ahead and use what we have on hand. I think these are Red Delicious, but they will be delicious even though they cook down differently. And I might have cut up too many. And I'll just save a few maybe for Tim's breakfast shake. I make him a shake just about every night before bedtime for him to take to work the next morning. And I think I've done a YouTube short on that. Maybe I'll have to do an updated video because I have that shake sometimes myself. It's very nutritious, full of good vegetables and vitamins, and just a good way to start the day. I always try to think, okay, I'm gonna make more and then we'll have leftovers because we have church tomorrow night as well. So I was thinking, okay, if I make more food than we really need for tonight, we'll have leftovers. But sometimes it doesn't go my way. And the family is like, oh, lots of food. So everybody goes back for seconds and then we don't have as many leftovers as I anticipate, which is okay. But that's my thoughts. We had a pretty big lunch today, so maybe we can have a few leftovers. Beans are over here getting bubbly. So we're gonna let them start cooking down. That probably is not gonna take that long. And get my apples into my skillet here. I think I'm just gonna use them all. Yeah, I think that's a good amount. Add that butter on top. And add a little bit of brown sugar. They're gonna be sweet apples. Then I'm also gonna add some cinnamon. All right, I'm just gonna get this kind of mixed together. I'm gonna put a lid on it, and then the juices and the apples are gonna start cooking down. They'll take probably a good 15 to 20 minutes to cook. I'll break this butter up. Normally I cut the butter into small pieces, but I forgot to do that part. This is more of like a dessert, I guess. All right. While that cooks, we're going to work on some biscuits. Okay, so I've decided for the sake of time that I'm just going to peel the sweet potatoes, cut them in cubes, and then boil them on the stove. I normally do these in the Instant Pot, but because our potatoes are really in need of cooking, I had to cut a lot of bad spots off. And so I think that would be the best way to do it. And then I also made a decision to not make the biscuits. I'm going to use a can of crescent rolls that I had in the fridge. I noticed that the date on these is March the 13th, and we're almost to March. So I've got like 4 or 5 cans in there. I'm gonna go ahead and use these up. So doing some convenience things. I think that's been the story of my life lately. We've been rather busy in our house, but we use what we have, right? And I don't want to stress about it. Yes, would it be better to make biscuits? They would taste so much better, but this is what we're going to do tonight. My beans are cooked down and they are done. So I'm going to turn those off back here and get our apples stirred, and then I'll show you how I do this. So I got a phone call, but while I was on the phone call, I went ahead and peeled our sweet potatoes. So we'll cut those up in cubes here in a minute. But I thought I'd go ahead and get these in the oven. I love the convenience of these little crescent rolls, and I use them. The reason I bought so many is because my kids love pizza rolls. And so I was gonna make up some pizza rolls to put in the freezer, but we've just been making them and eating them as we go. But they're very convenient. And I have a recipe to make my own crescent rolls, but I'm gonna tell y'all, this apparently is not the season for me to be making things from scratch. We have been so busy. Kids are involved in activities and then church activities. It's just been a lot going on, and I haven't really made a big dinner quite a while. Plus, we haven't had very many cold days this winter to have those good comfort foods. So we've been eating a lot of, just cold stuff and salads and things. So it's been a very unusual winter. All right, I'm gonna get these in the oven. They're gonna bake at 375 degrees for about 10 minutes. All right, I'm going to get a pot of water on the stove. We're gonna get this up to boiling. I'm gonna add some salt to it, and then once it's boiling, we're gonna add our sweet potatoes to the water. They're gonna cook for about 15 to 20 minutes. Now, I don't think I've ever cooked sweet potatoes this way, so I am going to cut them into smaller pieces in hopes that they will cook a little bit quicker this way, because I know, sweet potatoes take longer to cook. And I'm just going to mash them, and we'll have them that way. Peek at our apples, which have done a nice job cooking down. I'm probably not going to cook them any more than that. I think I'm just going to turn them down on low. And I think they're good enough right there. Same for our green beans. They're all cooked down as well. So those two things are ready. There's about, see, 18 minutes left on our steak and our pork chops in the crock pot. Once our water gets boiling, we'll start our sweet potatoes and our rolls will be out. All right, now we got our water boiling. I'm gonna carefully add our sweet potatoes in there. You wanna make sure your sweet potatoes are covered, and ours are going to be, that's, might not be a big enough pot, but everything's covered, so I am going to let that cook. We'll probably put a lid on it. All right, now I went ahead and reduced our heat to about a medium-high heat. We're going to get these covered, and then hopefully they'll be done in about 15 to 20 minutes. We'll come back and check on those. Everything else is pretty much done, so we're good. All right, it's been about 12 minutes since we got our sweet potatoes into the boiling water, and I just want to show you, grab a big one here, they are already fork tender. So this is a great way to cook your sweet potatoes. Just make sure you get them in smaller cubes. I'm gonna go ahead and get them drained, and then we'll put them back in the pot, or we'll just drain the water out. We'll use the same pot and add some butter, and we'll probably pull back out the, you know what, I don't know. Maybe we'll just add some butter for now, and we'll let everyone decide if they want to add anything else to their sweet potatoes. I like a little bit of brown sugar and cinnamon on my sweet potatoes as well, but since we've already got that on the apples, I'll just leave that up to everyone, and I might actually omit that part myself tonight, trying to eat a little healthier too. So, well, if everyone has sweet potatoes tonight, this is probably not going to be enough for leftovers. Gosh, I love all the colors of tonight's meal. I love colorful dinners. That's how you know you're eating good. We've got our green beans, our red apples, our orange sweet potatoes. We've got carrots that are orange. We've got some good protein. Got our grains. Eating good. And now that we have this mashed down, it just doesn't look like a lot anymore. All right, I'm just gonna let that butter sit in there and melt. I'm gonna put the lid back on. So I'm gonna let you take a little peek. This is our round steak and gravy, and I'm just gonna kind of go in and cut our meat up a little bit. That looks absolutely delicious. All right, so this is our pork chop. These are the thickest pork chops, y'all. They came from the butcher's box. They were a Christmas gift, so I'm just gonna cut these just in half. But it looks more like a soup. I may have put too much liquid in here. And our carrots and potatoes are down in the bottom. So anyway, that's the pork chops. The other ones look like a beef stew, but it'll be good. Either way, it's gonna be good. Just maybe next time I won't put as much liquid in there. It is such a gorgeous afternoon. I thought I would take a second before I go in and get ready for church to finish the conversation that I was having with you earlier about our seeds. Now, you saw me getting my plans together for seed starting. I do need to finish that process tomorrow. I will need to go out and probably get some good soil to start our seeds in, because I don't think I have any left from last year. But we will decide what we want to go ahead and plant. So after talking to Tim about it, I think there's some things we're going to take off our list that we had anticipated that we were going to grow this year. We might add in some things. I don't know. I say all this, and then when I sit down to start planning, I want to plant all the things, you know. But because we've got a time crunch, we're actually going to be leaving for a family vacation right in the middle of a very crucial time for gardening. So as soon as everything gets in the ground, we're going to be gone. And so I'm going to have someone, you know, that is willing to watch over everything for us, and it's probably going to be some work on their part because of watering and all the things, since it will be a newly planted garden. We're going to kind of keep it minimal, maybe minimalish this year. I say all this, and then as I was pulling my seeds out, I realized, oh, I was going to start flower seeds, which was going to be my first time this year doing that. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do it, just because I've never done it before, and I don't know if I want to put that on my plate right now. We have a lot going on, so we might scale down a little bit, but I am going to start tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, what else? I can't remember. It's a couple other things. I'm going to go ahead and get started this week. So as soon as we get everything together, I'll bring you along for that, but it probably won't be on this video because I want to go ahead and get this one out. So I'm going to leave it here. And if I add anything else, it'll just be a mixtape of video for today. So until next time, friends, I hope you'll remember to live simply, use what you have, and enjoy the moments you've been given. I will see you in the next one. Before that, probably, I will see you live on Friday, March the 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So don't forget to tune in live for that.